It do YouTube slash Patreon slash bit shoot today's video. I want to chime in with a quick impromptu video. In today's video, I want to talk about karmic interference. Yes, karmic interference. So, I'm pretty sure by now you've heard of karma. The forces of nature, balance, prana, ecosystem, the universe, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it. Sequence of events, whatever. But anyway, sequence of events. Karmic interference, right? See, when you on a certain path, you're going to have karma. When you're born into this world, you're going to have karma. It's just simple, but when you have karma, see, that's what people don't talk about. People always want to talk about karma in a negative way. People always want to talk about karma in a good way, a positive way. They don't never want to talk about things from the 0 point. What is 0 point? 0 point is like that veil, that thin line between the spiritual world and the physical world. See, when you are awake, how I'm awake right now, how I'm talking to you guys on the video, I'm awake, right, in the physical world. So the shadow world becomes the physical world when I'm awake like this. But when I am asleep, aka in meditation, aka in incubation mode, then that means I am now in the spiritual realm, right? Because we are spirits having a human experience, not humans having a spiritual experience. You see what I'm saying? So my spirit goes into the ethers, aka the astral realm, and then the physical world becomes the shadow world to the spiritual world. You see what I'm saying? And then when you wake back up again, you're in the physical world, the spiritual world becomes the shadow world. You see what I'm saying? See, it's duality. It's different dimensions. See, we are multi-dimensional beings. See, the pineal gland, the third eye, the first eye, whatever you want to call it, that is every human's multi-dimensional gateway. They try to say that this is a gateway drug. They always put out the propaganda that this is a gateway drug. This was actually brought from the constellation of Sirius, the dog star. You can go look this up. This is public information, by the way. That's where you get the connection from Sirius XM. The signal comes from the Sirius constellation, the dog star, Sirius Sun C, Sirius Sun B, Sirius Sun A. You know what I mean, right? The dog star, the Dogon tribe, Mali, Africa, Sierra Leone, Africa. The Nomos. You see what I'm saying? They bought this plant down, cannabis. They bought it down from the dog star. See what I mean? That's why to actually bring peace to humanity and healing, right? Same thing they did with a lot of other plants. But it got regulated by the government. People started, and when I say people, I mean like CIA and all these other alphabet corporations started adding chemicals to these plants. Like, hey, if you take this plant, because this plant already naturally has these chemicals in it. So if you take some synthetic shit and add it to it, you're going to get this. Because when you mix something, every cause has an effect, and every effect, that plays out to be a reality. You see what I'm saying? So motherfuckers mixing, different shit. Like they mixing opium plants with whatever chemicals You get heroin, and that's why motherfuckers is out here strung out on heroin. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with all these other drugs, and those are actual drugs. And the thing is, they come from plants, just like pharmaceuticals, pills and shit. It comes from plants. All pills, Percocets, Molly, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't fuck with that shit, by the way, to let you know. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I like to keep things all natural. But I'm just saying that those things, those pharmaceutical drugs that the white coats prescribe to you, a lot of those have plant particles, plant molecules inside of them. You see what I'm saying? And no, I'm not a pharmacy technician. You see what I'm saying? I'm more like a horticulturist or a botanist. You see what I'm saying? But I know this because I've done my research. A lot of these chemicals that's inside of these plants, they are naturally occurring chemicals that just come from the earth. And if you mix them with other synthetic chemicals, you can get a certain type of effect that could cause signals in your brain to relieve nausea or, you know what I'm saying, numb the pain, like a little weird shit like that, a little temporary shit that those prescription drugs do. All that shit is sorcery. So if you look up the etymology, you do etymology and roots of words, the origin of where words come from. It's called etymology, right? The prefix of the word. If you do etymology and research etymology, such as myself, you will know. You can look at the word pharmacy. Pharmacy and etymology is pharmica, which means sorcery. So when you take prescription drugs, you're putting sorcery on your body. This is why they didn't want to let cannabis in for so long, or marijuana, whatever you want to call it, because they knew the medical benefits behind it. CBD, cannabidiol, you could go do your research on all that shit yourself. You know what I mean? THC, cannabidiol, CBD, all this different stuff. They've been doing the research on it. They've been doing the effects because our ancient ancestors been using hemp and cannabis for thousands and thousands and tens and hundreds of thousands of years. These motherfucking demons knew that. And, they went back in, reread all the laws, the reefer madness and all that shit, just to play a part and just keeping this shit down and keeping a certain group of people down that's associated with this plant. You know what I mean? It's death by design propaganda, but motherfuckers don't want to really get into that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? And everybody who into hardcore drugs and shit, which I'm not a fan of hardcore drugs, you know what I mean? Because, come on, bro, we really just put fentanyl, chemicals in your body and shit. You know what I mean? And the thing is, everybody talk about fentanyl. Low key, I'm the type of person on some real shit. I low key think fentanyl been in that shit. It's just been so much of low doses. And then when motherfuckers just start getting desperate for that shit, they just start upping the dosage in it and shit, just to start raising the price on that shit. So really, you just putting poison directly into your body. And every fucking hardcore drug user and shit. And this not me judging nobody and shit like that, but they always speak down against marijuana or cannabis. Oh, it's bad, it's this, it's that. Nigga, you putting a needle in your fucking arm. Who the fuck are you to say that something natural, a plant that's in its natural form, is bad? Yeah, you don't have to smoke it. You know what I mean? But I want to smoke it. I have free will. I choose to smoke it. That might not be the best choice, but I enjoy smoking it. You can ingest it, which is the safest way. You know what I mean? You could do topicals with CBD. You know what I mean? Or have it infused with THC or whatever. Delta 8 creams and lotions and all that shit. You can rub it on your skin. So you don't always have to just smoke it and shit like that. There's different alternatives. But come on, bro. Like, you put a needle in your fucking arm, or you smoking a fucking pipe, or you know what I mean? Like, who the fuck are you to say a fucking plant that's bad? Yeah, you're doing a plant too, but your plant has a little bit of some special in it. You know what I mean? That's just fucking funny. But yeah, man, that's what's really going on. Like, that's why they call it the war on drugs, because you had these evil, mad scientists conducting these experiments and shit. You know what I mean? And they start conducting experiments on so-called melanated people. Well, not so-called, we are melanated people. But they start doing their experiments on melanated people and shit. And then once they perfected the procedure, then they start doing it on Caucasians and Europeans and shit like that. Real talk, man. This shit is real. But this is the stuff about history that people don't want to talk about. And it's like, you'll talk about all that other bullshit, but you want to talk about something that really happened. You know, I don't really like hearing about it either. At the end of the day, it's true. It's a fact. It's history. So regardless of how much I don't like hearing about it, it's still the fucking truth at the end of the day. Point blank. Period. No blood. You see what I'm saying? Oh man, that shit funny. But no, I'm joking around, but I'm being dead ass serious at the same time. You see what I mean? All that has a part to play in karmic interference and shit because this is something that these demons, so a group of individuals, being set out to do to interrupt the evolution of man. You see what I mean? Because in this lifetime, as humans, you know, we are supposed to raise the vibratory frequency of Earth, and that basically means that can manifest in the form of expression, which is art. That can manifest in the form of songwriting, dance, which is still art, of course. You could use that in the form of playing sports, yoga, you know what I mean, work, you know, just any form of way that you can use that type of power. You know what I mean? Like basically, it's just like that saying, like like when you see hospitals, you drive past hospitals, they say heroes work here. You know what I mean? And that's a real saying because people who do work in hospitals, they are heroes. You see what I'm saying? They just don't wear capes. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So it's just like that. You know what I mean? You could be a hero working at the hospital. You could be a hero being a police officer if that's what you do. You could be a hero being a lawyer if that's what you do. But if you're doing it the right way, though, you see what I'm saying? If you're doing it the right way, cut corners and all that. Nah, you doing it the right fucking way. You know what I'm saying? More power to you. But the whole point is, we supposed to be as collective consciousness raising the vibratory frequency of Earth, and that's why everybody is separated and segregated. Yes, you got people that's thinking they look clicks and all that shit, but that's still separated, segregated, just from all mankind and shit. Because this is the play that these individuals put out here to think that we all against each other because of a fucking pigmentation in our skin, which is really like a status type of thing, but that's a whole different story. But you know what I mean? They got us fighting against each other and shit. So that collective consciousness energy won't have that monkey theory effect on every single human on this planet. And every single human like had that realization, like, God damn, I'm supposed to be doing this. You know what I mean? Like I said, you could be using your form of expression to raise the vibratory frequency of Earth, and dance, singing, writing. You could be doing your shit, planting seeds in the earth. You could be doing your shit, like giving back to the community. You know what I mean? Help raise the community. Have more organizations out here that's helping these people. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Have more organizations out here. Have more love for your community out here. Shit like that, because that's what happened. They took that element from us as a people, as a human race. And that's why everything is going straight to hell right now, because it looks like the devil just got started, but the devil really at the end of his run, and he's trying to keep his fangs in the masses of people. Let's say it like that. He's trying to keep his fangs in the masses of people. So, so we won't have that collective consciousness and wake up. But at the end of the day, Earth is going to evolve regardless. Mankind is going to evolve regardless. All this stuff that's happening right now is supposed to happen, which is which is going towards the essential um, evolution of mankind and the raising the vibratory frequency of Earth of ourselves individually. Because remember, it's still law of oneness, universal law. We are still law of oneness, which is the law of connectivity, which basically means we still all connected, whether you know somebody physically or not. And that's just deep within itself, but like that's why we get distracted in our own personal lives and what we're supposed to be doing and all this shit. And that's why if you think about it, the concept of time in this world is go do this, go do that, go do that, like the Flash. You can never get down and sit down and think, figure this shit out. Like, oh, you know what I mean? That's why it's just like that and shit. Like, yes, you have to build and all that and make sure you got a structure for your family and shit like that. Of course, I understand that 100%. But they took that structure, they tweaked it so that it could be lopsided. So you focusing all your time on doing this, or you focusing all your time on doing this. It's never like holistically in a balanced type of way. It's always in an unbalanced way. You see what I mean? But it is what it is. Earth shall rise. Mankind shall rise. 85%.